And now we'd like to recognize the Triton Senior High School. Channing Morengi. And her parents, Louis and Brandy, along with sisters Emerson and Tenley. Round of applause for Channing Morengi. Next senior, Michaela Erickson. Michaela is escorted by her parents Brad and Bridget and her brother Clay. Next senior, Amelia Height. Amelia is escorted by her mother Joanne, along with her brothers Jonathan and William. Next senior, Maddie Hillick. Maddie is escorted by her parents Chris and Eileen and her brother Kyle. And our final senior, last but not least, Paige Levitt. Paige is escorted by her parents, Dean and Kathy.
He can't help the other side. Oh, look at our little girl. So proud. Dylan, you're going to cut my hair.
Let's give one more round of applause to the seniors of Triton and the seniors of North Reading. Best of luck in your careers.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Triton High School, home of the Triton Vikings field hockey team. Triton faces off North Reading tonight for their senior night. I'm Colin Weber. I'm joined by
Maggie Riley, Julia Price.
All right, so these are, it's a powerful team, 5-0, 4-0 in the Cal, facing off against the 2-2-1 North Reading team, but you can't always count on record to show how they're going to do. Now, senior night, everyone's going to be pumped up. Julia, I understand you played on this team before?
I did.
All right, how long ago was that?
I played last year. This is our first year without her, so I had to step in goal.
Wow.
It's been very interesting.
Wow,
yes.
Lucky you, Maggie.
Lucky me.
So, Julia, in the past with this program, how would you describe the play style and the coaching of Miss A?
Very
good. Honestly, one of
it's-
the better coaches I've had.
She knows how to get the team motivated. She knows that conditioning is a big part, and I think people look past conditioning when it comes to some of these games. Like some of the girls, they just get gassed out in this 2 first quarters. So she knows how to keep us motivated even when we're tired, because it is a lot of running and it is a lot of work for the field players. You know, I'm goalie now, so I don't really have to worry about that, but she knows how to keep the team motivated, so that's really good.
So, what would you say that I can't even think of it.
You're good.
Conditioning. What would you say that conditioning is like during practice? I mean,
Okay, so-
I'm out here most of the time, and I see you guys just doing laps
Okay,
on
so
laps.
but that's not even it. That's
not
regular.
even it?
That's regular practice. Preseason, we start off with our mile. We get our mile times, and then basically we just try to grow from that. We try to just keep everyone, you know. Ooh, there's some bags. We do our mile time at the beginning, and then we do a lot of runs as a team. We do. I can't think of any on the top of my head. Oh, here goes Paige. That's a nice pass. But there is a lot of running involved because she knows it's important. So it is very difficult, but you can really see that it comes to help us in our games. Ooh.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll see that through the Vikings tonight.
Yeah.
You know, hopefully no one gets too tired.
I think that's what's been helping us, honestly. You know, 5-0, it's a big deal, and that's
All right. So, what was the stoppage in play here?
foot. I think it was a foot. I can't really see from here, but it was either a foot or.
All right. So the ball's gonna go back to Triton.
Good play. Nice.
Rally.
Little body out there.
It happens, you know.
We love to see
Screen
it.
ball.
So Maggie and Julia, you two both being goalies, what is that like? What is that kind of?
It's a very big, well, for me, it's a very big change because I was a forward for 3 or 4 years before I started. Ooh, Maddie with the breakaway. Look at her go. Anyway, so it was very hard for me to adjust and be from one of the front line players to standing in goal and taking shots. I started 3 weeks ago, and it's been a lot, but honestly, it's kind of fun, and I really enjoy it. So, Jules?
Yeah, I got pulled up to be goalie halfway through my freshman season, and I was like, okay.
It's definitely scary.
Yeah, you definitely have to be a lot more aggressive.
Yeah, Sophie, our goalie, is a freshman in high school, and she's insane. She has gotten multiple shutouts in this season already. In our scrimmages, she got a few shutouts. I'm learning from her, and she teaches me everything I know. She's always on top of me. She's always helping, and she's great.
So it looks like it's a pretty Triton-dominated, first
so
few
far.
minutes into the game, kind of playing it on the North Reading
That's Amelia Height
side of
and
the 50. So Maggie, being on the team currently, how do you think this team is feeling? Senior night, 5-0, coming into this a nice game under the lights. Got a bit of a student section here.
Yeah.
So what's kind of the aura of this team right now?
Well, I can. It's definitely a little nerve-wracking. I know. I can only imagine as goalie right now, Sophie must be really, really nervous.
Yeah, especially being a freshman.
Being a freshman, she's gotten multiple shutouts. They're undefeated. It's their senior night, and this is the first time we're broadcasting anything like this. So I'm sure she's very nervous, and the rest of the team, it's probably a lot of excitement because it is their senior night, but definitely a lot of nerves out there. But I don't think they'll let it get to them. They never do.
Pass from number 1, Sammy Kelly to the middle.
And in the
that's
goal.
A Triton goal.
That's a goal by Allie Pugh, number 8.
Number 8, junior. Going to be the first score of the night. Going to bring the Vikings up 1-0 with about 11:43 remaining in the first quarter. Setting
a really nice tone for the rest of the game.
Always good to score early. I mean, it's better to be up 1-0 than have to come back, or it's kind of a breath of fresh air. You get that first goal, the nerves are starting to go away. You can kind of relax a bit. You don't really have to worry about needing to come back anymore. You already kind of set the tone for how you want this night to go.
Definitely. I believe that was either a foot or a hack. Probably a foot.
Nice.
Pass to Riley.
So obviously a foot is a foot touching the ball, but
yes.
hack, how would you explain that?
Basically hitting sticks. You have to avoid hitting other people's stick with your stick. Even if it was unintentional, some refs will call it. And
I mean, that seems a bit difficult when you have a clump of Vikings surrounding a
exactly. And you
hornet.
get nervous. You get nervous too, and it's a lot, but it's a skill that comes with practice, you know? That's Madison Hillock on ball.
Little chip out to the Vikings. Yeah, not exactly back line, but about the mid. So
Nice.
the positions of this game, what is it similar to? Is it something similar to that of soccer or that of normal hockey?
Yeah, so I would say similar to soccer, right, Jules?
Yeah.
I don't know, I haven't played soccer since like 6th grade. But, so you have it depends on really how many people that's Natalie on defense. Nice, Sammy.
Pass it to Sammy Kelly.
Okay.
She's going to take it
there
up.
There you go. Oh.
And there's going to be yet another stoppage within the first 5 minutes of the game. Is that something we're going to be seeing a lot?
Yeah, it's a lot. They get called a lot. It's definitely different from other sports. I don't think people really realize how many things you can get called for and how easy it is, too. That's a nice air dribble. What was I saying? So the positioning. You have your forwards, usually 3. Nice, Neela.
Number
Bring
5
it up the
going
field.
up the field. Neela Jones going to
Junior.
Junior.
Oh, that's
It's
a
a
push.
little shove in.
That's a push. Yeah, so basically it's kind of like soccer. You have your usually 3 offensive players, and then you have your midfield, 3, maybe sometimes 2. It depends on how many people you have. And then you have your defense, which is usually 3. But I think what they're playing right now, it looks like 3 defensive players. And I think Natalie might be playing sweep. I'm not sure.
So North Reading's going to take the ball, going to bring it to Triton's half of the field. Going to be swarmed, and play is going to be stopped again.
Yeah, that's how the game is, honestly. It's very aggravating at sometimes. Some refs make you bring the ball back to exactly where it happened, and some refs just say take it. So
I'm sure it's kind of a nice little quick way to catch your breath, though. I mean, the amount of running so far is insane.
Yeah.
Just back and forth, you know. Nice little play of stoppage doesn't hurt to catch your breath.
Nice, Sophie. That was a nice clear by Sophie.
But the goalie going to be a pass up to number 6.
That was a
Riley
clear.
Bell.
Oh, okay. And also, when playing field hockey, we're taught to take it as quickly as possible whenever we can. That was a nice hit by Sammy Kelly, but we're told to take the ball as quick as possible, so trying to catch the other team off guard, basically.
So the ball's going to go to North Reading and about to Triton 25, although that's football dimensions. I'm sure they're a bit
Neela
different
taking
in
it out wide.
the game of field hockey, but going to be a little pass up. Going to go right to North Reading now.
Nice stop by Neela.
Neela's stick work is amazing.
Nice pressure by Riley Bell.
Nice way to come back to the ball.
Nice
Stop by
Be a
Neela.
nice stop,
Oh.
number 5, Neela Jones. And you're really going to have to help me with these play stoppages here. I mean, I
Okay.
can't even begin to tell you what these are for.
Sometimes it's hard to tell from far away. Sometimes it's hard to tell from on the field, to be honest. That's a stop by Sammy. Okay, so that looked like they might have called it for Sammy accidentally hooking the stick. So if you obstruct another player by hooking their stick, that is a call on you.
Ball's going to go out of bounds. Going to be North Reading.
Nice pressure by Riley Bell.
No, we're about
strategy.
Okay, so Sammy's trying to channel it out of the circle. Natalie hitting it wide. You never want to hit it up the middle.
Yeah, this is almost kind of like a danger zone for Triton.
Yes.
You never want to see North Reading swarm the ball this close to the goal. I mean,
Nice. Going out.
what's one way you can counter that?
The ball coming in. I didn't hear what you said. I was paying attention. Sorry. What did
Yeah,
you say?
so, you know, players start to get nervous. They start to make
Yes.
mistakes when the ball is really being played towards your goal, especially within, 5-10 yards. Things start to fall apart. What do you have to do to kind of stop?
As goalie?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. So usually I always have people on post. I screen for people on post because it's hard to cover your whole goal, even though, you're supposed to. And she saves it.
It'd be a nice hustle by Riley Bell to keep that ball in bounds, going up the sideline looks like that was about almost 15 yards
Nice.
she had to run to clear that. Gonna pass it towards the middle and gonna be swarmed by a bunch of North Reading Hornets.
So if there isn't anyone available, you kind of just have to hope for the best. As goalie, you kind of just have to make sure you're on your angles. Call for people if possible. If no one's there, then just do your best to block it, to be honest. It is a lot of pressure, and
Oh yeah.
definitely, I know Jules knows what I'm talking about. It's nerve-wracking, and I haven't even played any actual varsity games yet, and I can't even imagine. Sophie is an incredible goalie.
Yeah, and we're just about 11 minutes in, and the Vikings have been playing very aggressive. I'm sure that's definitely a lot of help with having Miss Anderson as your coach. Not
Yes.
only being a very, very interactive gym teacher, she also played, I believe, D1 at UNH and maybe one other school for
She has a lot of experience.
various sports. I believe she had 12 varsity letters when she went to high school here, that
Yes.
including field hockey.
Nice breakaway by Maddie Hillick, number 9.
Gonna go up the middle.
And
Got
shot.
one defender to beat.
Oh,
and
and
looks like she stumbled one way or another.
I don't know if they're going to call that on Maddie or if they're going to... Yeah, maybe it is. Yep, they call it on Maddie as a push, but from here it looks like she tripped. I don't know.
The way these girls move, you can tell that they really want to win tonight. I mean, especially against North Reading. No, they may not be a rival in the sense of Pentucket or Newburyport is, but North Reading has relatively always been good in their sports, and
Yes.
Triton has a history of not performing well against them. But they're really playing well tonight. I mean, especially with the recent kind of bee swarming at Triton, I'm sure the girls would love to kill a couple Hornets out here.
Yeah, definitely. That was really good, Colin.
Yeah, I'm no
waiting
Mr.
for that
Heffernan,
joke.
but I'm trying my best out here.
Okay, so green ball coming in from the side. Nice pressure by Allie Pugh. Pressure is really important, especially sideline balls. You want to get that up wide as soon as possible.
So coming into a game like this, especially
Yes.
senior night, how do you guys practice as a team? I mean, do you guys change it up? Does Miss A kind of take this as any normal game?
Yes, she makes it very clear that we can't let this get into our heads. Even though this team is 5-0 and we've been performing like perfect, nice. Okay. Even though we've been performing really well as a team, we can't let it get to our heads. We can't let our egos get too big because that's when you slip up and that's when you mess up. You get too confident and in your abilities, and that's when you mess up. So she really makes sure that we treat it as any normal game. Don't let it get to our heads and just do our best.
Yeah, so definitely making sure that these players are definitely calm and collected. You don't really. It's when the emotions and the nerves, when those start to kick in, that's when you start to see things, kind of fall apart.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
And we haven't really had too much of that. It's there's about 1:35 left in the first quarter, and I mean these girls are playing great. There's really nothing to complain about. I mean, they definitely want to win this, and I mean it's good to see a Triton program perform well like this. It's also a beautiful night for some field hockey.
Yep, that's Devin Karpenko, number 3 with the ball.
Alright, looks like that's going to be North Reading's ball. Going to be taken around the 45-yard line in dimensions to the football field.
That's a save by Neela
nice
Jones,
save.
number 5.
I believe.
Sophie's looking really good out there, staying on her angles, staying aware of the space she has around her, staying tight to that post when that ball.
And she doesn't really look too nervous or anything. I mean, it's she's not getting any nervous bounces or anything.
That's a breakaway by Maddie Hillick, number 9.
Gonna take it past a few North Reading defenders. Some real nice ball handling out there. And looks like that's gonna be the end of the first quarter. Vikings are up 1-0. Girls are playing great so far.
They should be really proud of themselves. That's good. You can definitely tell they're really hungry for the ball.
Oh yeah.
And they're not getting tired yet, so.
North Reading's definitely swarming the ball.
Yes, they're crowding, definitely.
Oh yeah, and the better you perform, the happier the coach is, and the happier the coach is, the happier you are.
And the less running you have to do the next day.
Yeah, and no one really wants to make Miss A angry, especially with the way she makes you guys run. I mean,
honestly, it makes us better. So we just,
Yeah.
It's nothing we can't handle. Yeah. It's definitely hard, but it's
and especially a game like this.
Better.
I mean, it's kind of really all you are doing.
Yeah.
I mean, the majority of this is, there's always going to be one person on the ball at a time.
Mm-hmm.
So the rest of you are just going to be kind of running. Sometimes it might be for no reason. I know that's how the way it goes in soccer, especially being a midfielder. Going up the field, down the field, up the field, down the field, getting no touches and no recognition. But the more you run, the better you feel.
Yep.
How has your defense been looking this year?
Very good. Natalie, Maya, and Devin. Am I missing anyone? I feel like there might be.
Paige.
No, Paige is, that's not right. That roster is not correct.
So our roster says that Paige Lovett is on defense, but maybe
I don't believe that Paige's defense. I've seen her midfield this whole time.
Formations change; they come and go. Maybe you're running a 3-4-3.
But our defense has been really, really strong, and we have 5 seconds left.
I've seen Natalie with a lot of stops out there.
Is a very strong defensive player. Maya is actually new to defense this year, I believe, and she's doing insanely well for this being her being switched around. And Neela as well, bringing up the sides. She's been a really, really valuable player too.
Now, Julia, I know it's only been a year since you last played, but do you recognize anything that's really going out here, whether that be formation or play style, or has Miss A kind of changed it for the new season? What are you recognizing out here?
I recognize going into doubles a lot, bringing the ball into another person.
Yeah,
they've been doing that a lot.
Definitely. I think our passing has gotten really strong. Passing wide, definitely.
Going into the double means someone drawing the opponent to another player.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of like creating space.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
yeah.
and then passing wide. Definitely a really good play when crowding does happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks like North Reading, their setup for offense is interesting. They have the 2 kind of pushed. Do you see?
Yeah.
And then the 2 up front.
Yeah.
Usually,
start of the second quarter, looks like Triton's going to start with the ball. Going to be a pass back to Triton's back line.
Nice pass by Natalie. There you go, Sammy.
Nice takeaway by Sammy Kelly. Going to go up midfield.
Step into open space. North
You see
Reading.
Riley getting on ball?
Yes, Riley's been there. Pass to
Gonna be
Riley
a nice
Bell.
pass by Sammy Kelly to number 6 Riley Bell. She's going to kind of take it into the middle.
Back to Sammy. Definitely a lot of crowding.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a corner. First corner of the game, I believe, right?
Yep.
So a corner basically is when it touches a foot or some kind of, usually it's when it touches a foot. You get to insert it in at the goal line, and there's 4 defensive players at North Reading that stay inside of the goal cage, and their offense goes up to the 50. And then shot up. Oh. Basically,
Looks like that was a shot attempt. Couldn't quite get it off by the time a North Reading defender
Another
came up
corner.
and took the ball.
another corner. So basically,
2 corners in a row.
our offense lines up on the circle, and looks like Madison Hillick is inserting number 9.
You know, and I'm sure that the girls are feeling real good about this. You know, 2 corners in a row. I'm sure that North Reading's getting real nervous with the ball kind of being taken down, being swarmed around their goal so much. I mean, that's always going to make a team nervous, and the more you can kind of catch them off guard, the better chance you have to break them down.
I'm sorry, but this is insane crowding. That's like that was literally like everyone on the field was in the circle. That's crazy. It's because they're all hungry for the ball, and you can really tell.
Yeah, natural for Hornets to swarm.
That was really funny, Colin. Everyone laughed, as you can hear.
You know, there were a few chuckles. All right, so it looks like we have another mistake in our roster. Freshman Sophie Chapman, the goalie, is 00. So if we were referring to her as number 0 before,
That's
stand
incorrect,
corrected, and that is Maggie Riley's number, our
I am
fellow
number 0.
commentator. So
I am number
just
0.
wanted to make that clear. If Sophie and or her family ends up watching this, we are so sorry, and we apologize.
I don't think we called her number
deeply.
0. I wouldn't have let that.
No.
I think I would have noticed. That's a nice pass from Allie Pugh to Riley Bell.
Riley.
Looks like she has
Up
a lot
the
of
middle.
space there.
That's Amelia Height taking it up the middle. Nice pull around. That's a pass from,
defender.
fortunately, North
Riley
Reading.
on ball.
Riley Bell staying with the ball. Way
That
to get
was a foot.
get
They're
it
not going to
away.
call it.
And they're not going to call it, as Maggie
Well,
said.
yeah, because sometimes if it doesn't affect the play, they won't call it. But you'll notice it'll hit a foot, and you'll see them put their hand out and see to wait if it actually affected the play and if it benefited them or something like that.
So I know it's
That's
kind of
another
all circumstantial, but is there really a kind of a key way to tell, like, how would you really call it if it affected the play versus if it really didn't? I mean,
So basically, stopping the ball with your foot, obviously, like not using your stick to stop the ball. You're gonna get called for that. Kicking the ball, obviously, can't do that either. But sometimes that's a nice shot by Sammy Kelly. Reverse sweep out to the top of the
Bounce
circle.
back
That's
out.
McCullough bringing it back in. But basically, like, affecting the play basically means it touches their foot and it stopped the other team from getting the ball back, or something like that. Paige Levitt bringing it up the middle.
So, to your best knowledge, with our field hockey team being 5-0, 4-0 in the Cal, are we kind of at the top of the league right now? Do you know any other teams that are kind of a threat to us?
To be honest, the teams that we thought, that's a nice raised shot. It's going to be a corner. Nice. So, to be honest, the teams that we were most worried about, we've already gotten out of the way and we've won. So, I don't know. But, we can't. Other team, we're not going to underestimate anyone because I think that's what happened with our team. We were underestimated, and look what happened.
Yeah.
So
that's something you really don't want to do. I mean, any game can go either way. Something.
Yeah, definitely.
In a sport like this,
Ooh, is that going to go out? Oh,
Natalie with the save.
nice save by
nice
Natalie.
hustle by Natalie. So, from watching previous games this season, would you say that we're kind of overperforming right now, underperforming? I mean, how does the team usually look into comparison as of right now, where we have about 9:35 left in the second, so
I think they're doing really good for, there is a lot of crowding going on both sides.
Now, would you say that crowding is kind of a bad thing? I'm assuming, just like most sports, you kind of want to get into open space.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not good crowding to the ball, but it does get very intense. Everyone's definitely going for the ball tonight because they just want to perform well. It's their senior night, so I get it, but...
Yeah. So we saw a nice kind of moving forward and a pass by Neela Jones to the right side, which was taken up close to North Reading's goal.
So I think this is green or blue ball? Or is this is another corner?
It's going to be another corner. That's going to be 3 in the second quarter for the Vikings, which I'm sure Miss A is definitely happy about, and the North Reading coach is definitely not happy about.
We practice corners very frequently, every practice almost. And this team, nice shot by Neela. Someone's on post? No, okay. But we practice corners very regularly. It's a big part. If you're good at corners, that's when you get the goals. That's when you can really rack up those points.
So would you say that kind of a corner is really your best attempt at a goal?
I mean, no, but it's an easy way to get the ball into the circle and keep it there, because you get the time to insert, and
Looks like we have a little change in weather as the night goes on. It's getting a little misty. Hopefully, the rain doesn't end up coming down too heavy and we have to postpone this game, but I'm never going to speak too soon. We're playing well.
That's a nice pull.
Move by Sammy Kelly. Would you call that a pull?
Yeah, that's a pull. So basically, bring the... Oops. Oh. Maddie has a really good... I don't know what you would call it, reverse.
Neela.
That's a nice save by Neela. Yeah, it's a pull. So basically, when you switch the ball over to the other side of your body, yeah, so that's, I don't know how to explain it.
Okay,
that's a nice sweep by Sammy Kelly.
Yeah. So rain's coming down a little bit heavier, kind of creating a nice scene on the field. But is field hockey a sport that's kind of affected by rain? Football and soccer, you start getting some more slippery touches on the ball, but playing with sticks and stuff.
So the ball will move a lot faster because turf gets slippery, and the ball is, I don't know how to explain. That's out.
Would be a nice hustle by Sammy Kelly.
Okay. But the ball is going to move a lot faster, so we have to make sure that their hits stay controlled.
Now, is it kind of like a pro faster or con faster? I mean, the ball's kind of moving quick enough as it is.
Yeah, honestly, it depends. If someone's hit is too out of control, it's going to be
a nice pass
by
up to Riley Bell. Going to be taking it up the left side, passing the middle towards Maddie Hillick.
Sorry, I'm getting really into it.
Well, it's good, two commentators have the same mind. It's better to be in sync than, not speaking at all. But looks like the rain's kind of slowed down a bit. Looks like it's a very slow fall. Going to be another stoppage in play.
I know I can speak for Triton when we're prepared to play in any weather. We practice in the snow. We practice in the rain. The pouring rain even. With all my goalie stuff on.
That's the one motto for Triton. The only time I've ever seen a practice canceled is if it was lightning or very, very poor, bad thunder out. So, yeah, that's good. You want a team that's built for any weather because most times games aren't going to get canceled by rain, especially if they don't have too much effect. And, people are always, no one really wants to play in the rain, but
honestly, I kind of like playing in the rain.
You have a few exceptions, but it's better to be prepared than to kind of crumble apart there. So
it's definitely good to be prepared when it comes to
Looks like the
Sophie's
range
staying on her post.
coming towards a stop.
Nice.
As we
See how quickly Natalie's going to take this ball, not even letting the other players get back in time. So
now, is that
that's a
something
nice
you guys work
pass.
on during practice?
That was a pass to, I believe, McCullough.
The not waiting for North Reading, is that kind of like a universal thing?
Yes,
does Miss
definitely.
A kind of, does Miss A
You're
really
told-
focus on that in
No,
practice?
most coaches, I would say, tell you just to take the ball as quickly as possible. You don't want to wait. You don't want the other team to get enough time to block up and kind of get in front of your players.
Catch them off guard so you can take it up the side
Shot
like the
by
Vikings
Mattis.
just did.
Okay, yeah.
Shot gonna be
I think
stopped
that might have
short.
been
Dangerous
shot. Yeah.
Dangerous shot. That's a new one.
There's
that
a
we haven't
lot,
heard
Colin.
yet.
There's a lot. Okay, so basically, when you go to hit the ball and you're too close to someone, you could have hurt them. That's dangerous shot.
Okay. So,
She
within,
raised her
like,
stick,
2,
and there was too many
3.
people close to her.
Okay. We talking how close would you really consider close? We're talking feet, yards, inches.
If you could hit them with your stick, if you moved
Okay.
a certain, if you could hit them with your stick,
nice,
then
nice moves.
that was
nice hustle by
that was a
Nina
nice
Jones.
that was a nice attempt to
Yep,
save.
up the left side.
Mila really moves it up the field. Like she's defense, and she's almost always past the 50, bringing it up.
And that's good. You want someone on defense who kind of has that speed. You
Yeah,
know,
definitely.
I remember back in middle school doing track and field with
Yeah.
her, so it looks like that's kind of stuck with her. Good to have some speed in your back line. You don't want people to get past you, and
Yeah.
as we've seen her, she's gotten a lot of opportunities to take it up the left side, so that's good. And here's something we haven't seen too often: North Reading ball within the Tritons kind of half of the field. As I was talking about in the kind of a
Amelia Height bringing up the middle, passing
nice
it to
pass out
Riley
to
wide.
Bell. But like I was saying, this is
That's
kind of
gonna
been
be a foot. Did you see that?
Triton. I did.
I'm
Thank
trying
you.
to teach you.
Kind of a Triton-dominated game. And they haven't disappointed. They haven't fallen apart. I mean, I stand by what I said in the beginning. We're just about 2.5 minutes away till the half, and you guys haven't broken shape at all. I mean, this has been a game that's been played on the North Reading side of the ball. I mean, field. Triton ball on the North Reading side of the field. 3 corners within the second quarter. Few shots, a few of them on goal. I mean, good hustles. If the ball does get taken to Triton's back of the field, we have kind of no issue taking it up the sideline or even kind of getting a pass towards the middle. I mean, this team seems to be full of speed and they have some good ball skills. I mean,
That's a nice channel and double team by Maya and Devin.
I mean, they seem very well-rounded.
Yeah, definitely.
Now, during practice, do you guys kind of do positional skills? Do you guys work on hold? Do you guys do like scrimmaging? How does a
All
kind
of
of a
it,
normal
really.
day of practice look? If you could run me through that.
So, I haven't practiced on the fields in a while. Oh, that's a nice save by Neela, and it goes out. But usually, we do our run, and then we do our 100 passes. So
100 passes?
Yes.
Really? To the dot?
100 yeah.
No more, no less?
No, you
Wow.
count, and you have to be honest.
And what happens if you aren't? Has no one tried that yet?
I'm sure people have, but do our 100 passes. So we've been doing that recently.
Maggie, as much as I love having you commentate with me, Julia, how do you feel kind of about how this game has been going so far? You've been a little quiet over there, kind of been a Maggie-dominated video,
You've been asking me questions.
Are you kind of liking what you see? Do you think that Miss A is kind of happy with how the players are playing right now?
From what I'm looking at with Miss A, I think she's a little agitated with everyone crowding.
Yeah.
And a lot of the feet that have been called.
So is crowding just kind of a natural thing that happens and you can't control, or is there a way to kind of bypass that, kind of spread it out more?
People usually try to go to
That's a
the
nice
ball.
hit.
They usually attract to the ball, so they kind of just swarm to it. Kind of like hornets.
Kind of like hornets.
Right.
That's a nice And now
Yeah, it
that's
is natural.
Devin
You
Karpinko,
want the
and
ball.
It's halftime.
that's the half. So it's a 5-minute half.
Half is over. Vikings are up 1-0. It's been kind of a Triton
So far,
dominated
it's a
game, as I will
shutout.
repeat over and over again until I stand corrected. Yeah, so hopefully the Vikings can continue their play style into the third and fourth quarters. I'm sure Miss A is going to give them some nice words on the sideline. Keep them motivated. You don't want to let them lose what they got going. So we're all excited to see what's going to happen. Thank you.
As I was saying for our practices, so I don't know, I haven't practiced with the field players in a while because I've been in goal, but usually they do their run and they do the 100 passes, which really helps us with passing on the field, definitely, controlling our hits and stuff. And then we usually do some positioning drills, so make sure we know where they should be, who they should be covering, stuff like that. And then we'll do scrimmages, and we include JV in that as well. So we'll split up the teams, make them a little bit even, because obviously they're going to be different skill set on each team, and we will scrimmage usually, and yeah, so there's a lot of different skills that we practice to prepare for a game. So
Hi, Jamie. Hello.
All right, so I'm going to make the assumption that you played while you were at Triton,
I did play.
And that your sister is Riley Bell
Yes.
playing right now. So how are you kind of like? Are you liking what you see? Is this kind of any different than kind of what you did while you were in high school? Is Miss A kind of keeping the consistency between the players?
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen like a lot of these guys play since they were freshmen or sophomores, so it's crazy to see how good they are now. But no, they're looking pretty strong, especially on defense. If they could just connect a few more times, I think they'll be set. Yeah.
And have you played any field hockey outside of Triton?
I have not. I miss it very much. Yeah.
All right, so going into this second half, is there anything, I know you kind of touched up on a few general things that you want to see happen more, but is there really any kind of big specific things? Is there anything you kind of want to see continue as this game enters the third quarter?
I think they're doing a really good job shutting it down in the circle. They just need to work on transitioning out. They've had a couple of transitions all the way down the field, but they could do that a couple more times. Yeah.
With you, Julia, kind of the same thing, anything to touch on?
Yeah. I didn't hear what you said. I was too busy trying to open the umbrella.
So now that you've graduated from Triton, kind of how's the college life going for you?
Pretty good. This year's definitely more normal than last year, obviously with COVID stuff, but yeah, it's going great so far.
So where do you go to college?
I go to Bates College in Lewiston, Maine.
Lewiston, Maine.
Yes.
Do they have a field hockey team?
They do have a field hockey team. I almost tried to play there.
Field hockey team?
I honestly don't know. I've been meaning to make it to a game. I don't think they've had a lot of home games so far, but I'd love to go watch a game. Yeah.
Is it better than high school?
College in general?
Yes.
I mean, it's very different. Yeah, more stressful, but it's also kind of fun to,
Yeah.
live away from home for a little bit.
Yeah. All right, so it looks like we're going to be entering the third quarter here, so thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
See you guys later.
All right, and we are back being joined by the lovable and talkable Maggie Riley.
Aw, that's so sweet. Thanks.
All right, so what is a typical, halftime kind of look? Any kind of words from Miss A?
It's a pep talk. What we need to improve on. What we need to look out for on the other team, and basically just motivation, stuff like that.
With you saying, her talking about what you guys need to look out for, what do you think was kind of, without kind of giving too much to the open public, what do you think was kind of being said than that little huddle she had going for the past 5 minutes or so?
Honestly, probably. Jules, what do you think?
Probably more spreading out.
Yeah.
I know that's
Spreading
a
out.
big
They are doing a
thing.
really good job, but it's hard when the other team is crowding.
Yeah.
You have the instinct to go and help. So I think they're doing a pretty good job, but probably spreading out, looking wide. They've been doing really good using the wings.
Taking it up to the sides.
And they have switched sides.
What do you think North Reading was saying in that huddle?
I hope they were saying spread out. I hope, but I don't know. Maybe that's their strategy. Maybe that's their way of playing. I'm not really sure.
So North Reading's going to start with the ball. Going to be immediately swarmed by a group of Vikings. Going to be a little pass attempt out. We're going to see a battle between a few Vikes and a singular Hornet. They're going to kind of bring it up to our side of the field.
Nice stop by Neela.
Nice stop by the refs.
That's a nice pass out wide. Oh, she just can't get there in time. Oh, okay, yeah, green ball. Green ball coming in.
So field hockey, there's so many lines on our
So many
field.
lines.
So they play through the black line.
It's the black line, yeah.
Okay.
The black, and it has a red right next to it, but we say black.
Yeah, so it looks like it's just a tad bit wider than the football sidelines, and it looks like it's a bit shorter towards the end zone.
Yeah.
But I'm sure when you guys are running down the field, it feels like an eternity.
Yes, definitely. I don't know, because I haven't ran on the field in a while, but yeah, used to be.
So even though we have all these stoppages of play, and you see that you see the ball go out, things are called, but we really don't see the clock stop. Is there anything that the clock kind of stops for?
Oh,
Oh, it looks like it's going to be a
Injury.
injury. Looks like that might be
Neela Jones, number 5.
Jones. And there's our answer as to why.
Yeah, I was just going to say, when someone gets hurt, and straight to the goalie.
And
giving her the space she needs.
Yeah, definitely something you want to do, with injuries. You don't want to crowd them, make them kind of feel more anxious. So
I hope she's okay.
Are the Vikings kind of using this as a kind of like almost like a timeout? Obviously you wish best for your player, but is there a particular reason why they huddled towards the goalie? It kind of looks like they're talking about something over there.
Yeah, they're talking probably strategy. I hope she's okay. She's a really important player for our defensive line. Looks like she's getting up. She might have just got the wind knocked out of her. That was a pretty nice hit to her.
You know what happens, but she has been a great player for us so far. You've really seen her take the ball down the sideline, even towards the middle. Playing great defense, but also kind of being that kind of multi-positional player. You see her kind of going past the midfielders up to where the attackers are. So hopefully we see her kind of bounce back from this and hopefully be out there in no time at all. But for now, we hope she's all right.
Yeah. So as I was gonna say, the clock usually stops when something like this, someone gets hurt, or I'm trying to think, Jules, anything else that it would really stop for. Does it stop for when you set for a stroke or no? I can't remember. Probably not.
Probably not.
I'm sure as a goalie you're not really paying too much attention towards the time.
No, well, not really, unless it's really close game and it's about to end. But yep, and in JV we don't get a timer actually on the board, which is a little annoying because you don't really know how much you got left. But
has there been any strokes lately?
There was one on varsity. I don't remember if it was in one of our scrimmages during preseason or if it was during a game.
A stroke in field hockey is a call against the goalie.
Yeah. Okay. So basically blocking the ball.
Yep. And the player gets a free shot from a mark by the net.
There's a mark. How far would you say it's from the net? Kind of you see where it's a little bit higher up from where that goalie's kneeling, right?
Yeah.
It's just there's a stroke line. They have to stay there and basically hit it in.
Okay,
Or, like,
I'm
usually.
glad you were able to explain that. I couldn't stop thinking about a medical episode. Anytime you mentioned strokes,
No, nothing like that. Definitely
but
not that.
that is kind of one of really two main reasons when the scoreboard kind of timer stops.
Well, I'm not sure.
I'm not sure.
You're
but
not
Probably
sure.
not. No, probably not. Colin, no. I don't think it's the. No, I think it's just when someone gets hurt. I don't really pay attention to the time because
Yeah, and it looks like
I think it's her leg.
Yeah, it looks like it might have been something with the right leg. That looks like where the trainer was
She's walking
really,
off, which is always good. That's when you know it's.
Yeah, she might have just gotten shaken up. Hopefully it's nothing too
Hopefully.
serious. Especially, it's still early in the season. People get cramps. I mean,
It looks like it might be her left leg
yeah.
or ankle. I'm not sure. Hopefully she's
It's
okay.
going to be either one of them.
Looks
but
like
hopefully it's,
McCalla, number 7, is going in for her on defense, but she's usually a midfielder, so let's see how this plays out. Or maybe they might be pushing someone back. Oh yeah, I think they might be pushing Devin back. What do you think? What do you think, Jules?
Yeah, I think they're pushing.
I think they pushed Devin back, and then
Now Devin has played D.
yes, Devin is. She's been playing some midfield this year actually, but last year pretty sure she was a defensive
Yeah,
player.
she was D last.
So that's good that we have someone who has some experience.
going to be nice defense by the Vikings. Going to get a nice pass up. Going to bring it towards about the middle of the field.
That was a nice stop on North Reading's part. That's a nice channel out. Nice hustle by Channing.
Paige Levitt getting the ball.
Yeah. Paige, I believe, is either a high D or a midfield. I don't know. Our roster is messed up.
Field, kind of bring it in towards the middle.
Reverse
Looks like
shot,
there might
reverse
be a
shot,
chance
reverse shot.
of a shot here.
Nice.
That's going to be another goal by the Vikings.
Goal.
Going to bring it up 2-0 with about 12:37 left.
That
in the
was a
third
goal
quarter.
made by Madison Hillick, number 9. Those
our
shots,
seniors tonight.
Those reverse shots that she does,
She's very
even
good with
practicing
that.
on me, she turns her back to the goalie, and I can speak from a goalie's perspective, and I'm sure Jules can confirm this. It gets you very nervous when you can't see what they're about to do when they have their back to you, because that's when you know it's going to be usually a raised ball into the corner,
Yeah.
and you don't know which way they're going to go. So that was really nice play on her part. It's a nice stop.
Nice stop by Maya Sullivan, number 13.
So the Vikings have played just about 33 minutes so far, and they're still looking good, endurance and speed-wise. When do you kind of see players start to break down? About what time period during the game?
Usually, what would you say, Jules? I think it's usually after the half.
Yeah, usually after the half, and once they get the rest, they're not warm.
Nice ride.
Yeah, but it looks like we're not seeing that yet. So you're definitely not lying when you say that this really trains you
conditioning,
guys to
it's such an important
run.
part. I mean, it might seem like a lot, and it definitely feels like a lot.
Oh, yeah.
But it's so worth it in the end, and I'm really glad that we have coaches that understand that it's a big part in the game. Not just, stick skills are important, but endurance is just important as well.
Yeah, running days are really the days when everyone has an excuse as to why not to show up to practice. But you could argue that it's really the most important kind of part of practice. I mean, no matter how much you want to put in formations or kind of try and simulate a game, you really can't do anything when you're tired. So you really have to make sure to make sure your players are able to do all 4 quarters of the sport.
So it looks like that's Devin with the ball, I believe. Yeah. Bringing it up.
Nice defense.
Nice.
Take it away
She
from
has
the North Reading player.
Devin just had 3 North Reading players on her, and she handled that really well. Okay, so that was a foot. Touched a blue foot, so that's North Reading coming in. They have to go 5 yards, travel with the ball 5 yards before they can bring it into the circle, the black circle. So that's why you might see them bring it back or bring it to the side or pass it to the wings because they have to go 5 no matter what when going back into the circle if it's a call. And if you don't, then it's the other team's ball and you get called for that as well. So that's Devin with the ball. That was a nice play up to Maddie. That's a nice air dribble. That's a really good skill to have.
What now?
Okay, so see how they're making her back up. Some refs are really strict about that, and some aren't. So you really just have to. Depends.
You know, with it being senior night, I definitely don't want to take the spotlight away from those guys. They're playing great so far, but I can't help but notice that the majority of this team is juniors and below. You know, and especially with Maggie knowing really the JV players, is the future of this team kind of looking good? I mean, seniors graduate, they come and go, but when you have a majority of junior leaders like this, can you expect to see this team kind of be good for a few years running?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like we have a lot of juniors on varsity right now. I believe there's 8 or 9 of us, and we only have 5 seniors. But our seniors are very valuable players on this team. They do definitely contribute a lot. But we do have a lot of good players on JV right now that I see possibly moving up next year. A lot of freshmen, actually, that they did get an extra year of playing with us last year. We got a waiver to pull up 8th graders, so a lot of them have a lot more experience under their belt, which I'm so grateful for because they could really come in handy next year. That's a nice pass. That's McCullough with the save. That's nice.
By number 7. Ball's going to go out. Looks like it's going to be Triton's ball.
That's a nice hustle. That's Allie Pugh on the sideline. It's a nice play back to
nice pass
Maya.
To number 13, Maya Sullivan. North Reading's going to take it past the Triton 50.
It's a nice double team work by Maya and Paige, really channeling her out to the side, not letting her get up too far.
Yeah, and we've seen some real good defense from these players so far, so that's definitely something to definitely talk about and be proud of. How important really would you consider defense? I mean,
so
obviously,
important. So important.
Very important.
You look at sports like football, you know, the saying defense wins championships. Would you kind of consider that kind of applicable to something like this? I mean, I know how important it is to get a goal or drive it up the sidelines, but I mean, the defense that we're playing so far is incredible.
Yeah, definitely.
Down and out like that.
Looks like it's a nice pass from Sammy into Paige to the middle. Looks like North Reading's bringing it up. That's a nice stop by Maya Sullivan.
And it just goes back to that
pass up to McCullough, number 7 on the wing. That's really nice hustle by Madison Hillick.
And these Triton players are playing aggressive. They're having really no trouble kind of getting the ball in their control. I mean, no one wants to see a North Reading Hornet with the ball, but we really don't see it that much so far. Triton's been doing a great job at kind of been harping on them and kind of getting that back in their control.
So it looks like it's a green ball. And okay, looks like Channing is on ball. That's a nice stop by Channing. That's a nice pressure.
Now, Julia, no matter how great you're playing, you know, there's always kind of that one thing that really gets to you about you may not be performing as well as. If you could kind of really point out one thing to be worked on this quarter, what would you say it is?
A lot of looking towards passes.
Oh, that was a nice try by McCullough. Waiting post for Maddie's pass in.
Like I was saying, like looking towards passes, making those passes accurate. Especially when there's like 2 or 3 players on you.
And this will be another corner. So
it's going to be, if I'm not mistaken, the 4th of the game.
We have yet to have a single corner on Sophie, which is great. She's doing awesome.
I'm sure that's
a nice shot. That's a nice shot by Sammy Kelly. just a little bit too high to get in.
The ball was really chipped right over that. I mean, that almost
Yeah,
kinda
any
sank
lower
in.
and that would have been called dangerous hit. So
Yeah.
Really?
if it could hit someone's head, then yeah.
Okay,
But
yeah.
that was, as you could see, over everyone's head. So
If only she were back just a few feet.
that's a nice.
That's
That's
gonna be
beautiful. Okay.
Nice, kind of driven towards the North
Definitely.
Reading goalie. And I'm sure she's really feeling those nerves right now. 2-0 with 5 left in the third quarter, especially on
Definitely.
the
Lots of
opposing
pressure on
team's
North
senior
Reading.
nights. I'm sure she's...
I know how that
She's
feels.
really
I was
nervous.
just doing that. It's not fun.
Yeah, so you can really, both of you
Yeah.
can kind of at least assume what
definitely.
this goalie's feeling right now. I'm sure she's not feeling too good.
That's a nice channel by Sammy Kelly. Double team with Devin Karpinko, and it goes out. I'm not sure on who. I believe. Yep, that's blue ball.
Gonna be a nice pass. Just gonna go out of bounds on green. Looks like it's gonna
Yep,
be
on
Triton
green.
ball.
It's a nice pass back.
Nice pass back to Triton's back line. Looks like they're gonna try and switch fields here.
That's really
Nice.
That was a nice play by
Gonna be a
Maya.
pass up. It
Allie
looks like
getting
Allie
there.
Pugh taking it up the right side. Just gonna get stopped by a defender for North Reading, but looks like Triton's immediately
Get
gonna
Natalie.
swarm and get this ball
Yeah,
back.
Natalie is insane. Scrimmaging with her, she's always my defense, and I don't even get to touch the ball sometimes because Natalie's always there to get it out, which I totally appreciate.
Hey, that's definitely,
Yeah.
as a coach and as a goalie, definitely something you want. I mean, our goalie Sophie almost looks bored out there. She's
I wouldn't-
and
yeah,
getting no touches, and you.
I mean,
you know,
she
that's what
looks
you
bored,
want.
but she's definitely not feeling bored. She's
Oh,
definitely
definitely
feeling. That's a nice send in by Sammy.
You really don't want.
That's a nice pass by Maddie. Oh, very close.
Very close to being a Triton goal, but yeah, definitely as
Looks
a goalie, I'm
like-
sure as much as you love the action, the less your goalie comes near the ball, the better, really.
So looks like it's blue coming in because that must have either went off the goalie or went off another green player's stick. Sammy Kelly inserting it into the circle. She's going 5 before. That was a nice jab.
Pass back. Going to be a battle between
That was
North
really-
Reading and a Triton player, number 2, Paige Levitt. Also another one of our seniors playing great tonight. All of them really are.
And it's coming up.
Yeah, you know, senior night is something that really most athletes kind of think about, even since they were freshmen. I mean, I know
I'm thinking about mine. Mine's
yeah. But you know, they really are
that's
not
nice.
disappointing at all. I mean, you really
go.
couldn't ask for a better kind of night. I mean,
Yeah. I mean, the bugs are a little annoying, but you know, it's fine.
game wise.
Oh, yeah, game-wise. Game-wise.
They're playing really well. You know, 2-0. We're about
That's
2
nice
minutes,
pressure.
2 minutes away from the
Oh,
fourth
okay. So
quarter.
Channing got called for that, I believe, because she didn't give the player 5 yards. So if you don't give a player 5 yards when she's taking a hit, or in like, you'll get called for that, and it's their ball again.
Yeah, so there really are a bunch of different rules to really stop
Yes.
this game.
Very many.
But thankfully, I have 2 skilled, one former and one current field hockey player to help me with all my
You're so
game
welcome.
knowledge troubles. So,
You're so welcome.
thank you both for that.
That was good. Sophie's really staying on her angles tonight. She looks really good out there.
And what do you mean by when you said that? I mean,
yeah, I knew you were gonna ask.
Typically,
I didn't want to
saying
say
is you
anything, but
wanna-
yeah. So
you,
basically, your angles, it's like, think about it as if it's a triangle from one post to the other post, meeting in the middle. The middle is your highest point where you're going to be out of the goal, and kind of have to drop back at an angle to the post. You don't want to be too far out because you don't want to be too far in either, because you know
If you're too far in, you cover less of the goal.
Yeah.
If you're too far out, you don't have enough time if they run around you.
And everyone's angle that they prefer is different. I mean, like out, like further out wise, because Jules' angle. We are talking about this today.
Yeah, we were.
Your angle is further out than mine because
I'm just a little
Gonna
bit
be a-
shorter than.
yeah. Jules is a little bit shorter. She's got
Cluster
shorter
of-
legs.
North Reading and
That's
Triton
nice pressure.
players. Looks like
Nice
Triton's going to
feed
end
on
up getting the
Triton.
Looks
ball
like
and be
Natalie's
able
going
to
to take the
it
ball.
off.
I'm going to predict she's going to do either. That's
It's
a
kind of
nice
too
hit.
late
I
to
knew
predict it
it.
now as the play has started, but nice pass up
That's
towards the
bad
middle of
in
the
the center.
field.
That was a really okay, and
That is the end of the third quarter. It's still 2-0 Triton. You know, it's been a great game we've been seeing so far. I'm sure Miss A is happy. Players
Yes,
are happy. Fans
definitely.
are happy. Parents are definitely happy, especially that of those seniors. Everyone loves a senior night, but everyone loves a senior night even more when you're up 2-0
When you're winning.
going into the fourth
Oh, yeah.
quarter. So
Senior night isn't fun when you lose. Definitely not. But,
no,
you know.
and thankfully we
It
don't have to
happens.
talk about that because
happens.
these girls are playing amazing so far.
Yeah, and even from here, I can hear that there's a lot of communication going on the Triton side, so that's really good.
I may not know much about field hockey, but I know enough to tell that North Reading is kind of not doing very good against our team so far. And
I mean, they are performing. It could be a lot worse.
Yeah.
I mean, we have to give it to them. We are an undefeated team, and I don't want to say like we're really good, but we are pretty good. You know, I don't want to be cocky, but we are pretty good.
you know, it's fine to recognize talent. every now
Yeah,
and then.
and they're handling it pretty well. I got to say, 2-0 isn't, you know, too bad. It could be, you know, it could be 7-0. Like it could be worse. So they definitely are working hard, just not hard enough.
Get a nice little
Not hard enough.
shot of the fan section by our chief
fan
executive CEO officer, Mr. Lathrop.
It was white out tonight, and I see
And
maybe
we
5 white shirts.
I don't know where you're counting because I see a little bit more, but you know, sometimes people don't get the memo.
I'm not very good at counting.
I'm kind of rocking my ETV.
Pink uni.
Yeah, you're not very
These are
white out right
These
now.
are brand new.
They do. They look very new.
They don't
definitely,
smell brand new.
Okay. Pink camouflage, that's definitely a
Yeah, that's
kind of
new.
interesting, you know,
Well-
North Reading is just kind of gray over there, so you guys definitely...
Goalies have to be in obscure color.
Yeah.
Yes, I play soccer, I am aware.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you know, because you were kind of hating on the pink, but
I am a big fan of the pink. I was
Thanks.
just kind of questioning.
Okay, yeah.
You know, you see a lot of neons,
we have
black
neon.
with neon.
We have neon green practice jerseys, but they're tighter and they're older.
Yeah,
And-
I was stuck with the neon.
Yeah, you
Jules
know.
wore the one that I have, and
They
like maybe
smell
3
really
girls
bad.
before Jules had that one too, and you will never get the smell out of that ever.
Yeah,
It's
you
gonna
know,
be
there's
there
nothing
forever.
wrong with nice new jerseys. I mean, we got some this year, and there's nothing better than wearing that new
Yeah.
jersey for the very first
These
time,
jerseys
kind of
at the-
making it your own.
Yeah, these jerseys that the varsity's wearing, I believe we got them a few years ago, so they're pretty new.
I mean, they definitely do look nice.
Yeah, I love the Carolina.
Yeah, Carolina blue is
Carolina, and then we have
it's such
navy.
a pretty color to see against kind of the dark green of the North Reading. It's a nice little contrast. I know Triton recently has kind of been switching their main colors from the navy blue to the Carolina. There's only
Yeah, we do
a
have.
few Triton sports teams that are really sticking with it as their main color. I mean, football I think was the newest team to add the kind of lighter blue to their collection, but
Looks like
you
it's green ball.
yeah, these girls are definitely excited to wear the uniform. You know, you see them walking around school with it
Oh
on.
yeah, our dress up
Oh,
days. We
yeah.
go
Yeah.
hard for our dress up days.
What was your favorite dress up day so far?
That's hard because
I'm gonna assume it's risky business because I've seen
no risky
every sports
business.
team do
we
that
haven't
this
done
season.
our risky business.
Really,
day
you
yet.
guys haven't?
It's the 30th because that's the day that I'm bringing in
30th.
snacks for the team, so I have to remember that. And ribbons. Everyone brings in ribbons.
So
That's
what
it.
kind of dress up days have you had so far?
We've had hippie day, a bunch of uni days. I like uni day. I like this. It's pink. It's pretty.
Looks comfortable
Hippie day.
too.
It
Yeah.
is. Today was blackout.
Is there a reason why you do you guys do it for only games? games? Do you do it during
For only
practices?
games.
Only for games. So.
That's.
And do you have
I think that's gonna be. Is that blue or green, Jules?
I think that's blue.
Okay, blue. So yeah.
Do you have a dress-up day for every single game?
Yes, every single game.
Okay. And on average, how many games do you guys kind of play per season without going into postseason?
I think right now we have like 10 games left. This is a really early senior night, but mostly because we wanted to do
5 games in. I mean, you guys have only been playing for what? Just about. It should have actually been a month today. Preseason would have started August 23rd.
You're correct.
So a month in and already 5 games. School year's only been going on for just under 3 weeks.
Yeah, we're supposed to have more than that, but 2 games got canceled.
Okay.
Or postponed. That was Pentucket because their field, I believe, was underwater at the time. So.
Yeah, they do have a outdated grass field.
Yeah.
I know they're renovating that school, but we are very thankful to play on this lovely new field. I believe we got this back in somewhere around 2016, 17 maybe.
I think I was in 6th grade.
Yeah, but there's really no.
There's Amelia with a breakaway, and she's going up. Come on, please, Amelia, please bring it up.
Really no feeling that compares to playing under the Friday night lights on this
shot.
turf.
Maddie Hillick.
Shot, reverse shot.
Going to be a great hustle by the Vikings, bringing it all the way up to the North Reading goalie. Unfortunately, coming just short of a goal, but keeping it along their side of the field.
Keeping it within the 30.
And they do have a very kind of. I'd like to say that they have a fairly aggressive playing style, and that's kind of what you need. You don't want to shy away from the ball like that, and that's the reason why we've had so many more touches than they have.
Yeah.
Also, North Reading's playing aggressive on offense.
Yeah. Looks like it is green ball. There must have been a call for a foot or something. And
so do the refs not always tell you what they make
No, they
calls
will.
for?
It's usually it's a signal of some kind, like foot. They tap their foot, point to the direction the ball is going. They'll yell it. You can hear either push, something like that.
Yeah, it's just
that's a nice hit up the side to Riley Bell from Sammy Kelly. Yeah, but they'll usually tell you. That's a nice wow.
And the girls have been doing a great job of keeping the ball moving. You never really see it kind of stop or fall short. I mean, they're always kind of in a forward motion. Every now and then you kind of have to make a pass back to clear up some space, but we're really keeping this ball on on the side that we want to.
Ooh, get back, get back. So when the ball kind of has a breakaway like that, midfielders usually get back. They've been really good at hustling. I believe Sammy Kelly is a midfielder, and I always see her back, which is really...
Yeah, Sammy Kelly, we talked about how Devin was moved back to defense earlier, but Allie
Paige Levitt bringing it up.
Midfield. Yeah, so our midfielders are doing a good job. I mean, everyone is performing real well. Everyone's getting touches on it, and the defense and the attack we're seeing is great. I mean, this really is a good team, and field hockey is really something that isn't kind of talked about too much across the school, but
and it should be.
It should.
Okay, and that's our first. Is that a corner?
First corner
on Triton.
Okay.
I can see Sophie tapping her feet. Yeah. She's getting ready.
So, as a goalie, how do you, for both of you, how would you guys really kind of prepare yourself when a corner's happening? I know there's only so much you can do, but mentally, how do you kind of get into the mindset of really keeping your eye on that ball?
Mentally, I follow the ball and rush out as fast
That's a nice save by Sophie, and is that out? Yeah, that was a nice back shuttle.
Goal. So you weren't lying when you said she really does know what she's doing.
She's very, very good at goalie. I learned so much from her. I practice with her. Not only is she hilarious, and so much fun to practice with.
And
but
we have her for 3 more years after this, you said?
Yes,
her being a freshman?
She's a freshman.
It's good to see, young players like that being so involved in...
Sophie's... She's staying on those angles.
Staying on her toes. Look at that.
That's a nice clear.
And she's not
That's
afraid
a really
to,
nice clear.
She's not afraid to get out of net and go up.
She's not.
She looked like she was just about maybe like 5, even 6, 7 yards away from the net when she kind of when that ball was cleared out, and that's what you need to see.
Yeah, she's always telling me, you know, don't be scared to get out there. We just recently started practicing like slides and dives, and I'm hoping that we get to see that in one of her future games. It's definitely an important
this is
skill.
really the first time in a while.
That's the second corner on Triton.
Yeah, you know, it's 8:57 left in the fourth quarter, and we're now just starting to see North Reading kind of take the ball down here, but hopefully it's really something that's kind of short-lived. 2 corners opposed to, we had, I want to say, around 4 or 5 this game.
Nice stop by Sammy Kelly.
You know, great defense like we've been talking about. I mean, there's
defense is definitely very strong. That's a nice hit by Paige Levitt.
Yeah, they're playing so well-rounded.
To Amelia
and so
Height, up to Maddie.
Overall, it seems like we're just
Channing
repeating the same things over and over again.
Channing getting in the circle. Channing in goal, ready for that shot.
Nice shot.
Shoot it, Rye.
Yeah, Paige.
Oh, it's so nerve-wracking. That's a nice shot.
Nice shot.
Oh, so close. I believe that was called for a dangerous hit because it was raised a little bit. Anything from like the waist up is kind of...
I thought it was knees up, no?
Well, usually like, technically knees up, but they've never been really calling any like hits below the waist. But
Kind of like theirs.
oh, that's a nice... Coming out, so that was a stick obstruction, I believe, by Channing. It's nice recover from Maya.
13 Maya Sullivan with the ball.
Up to Sammy. See, that hit her foot, but it didn't really affect anything. So they didn't call it. That's nice. That's some nice stick skills from Madison Illig.
Yeah, she really has looked good with the kind of ball at her, I want to say at her feet, but
That's another
at
corner.
her stick so far. She really, and she looks calm under it too. It doesn't look like she kind of freezes up when she gets the ball, so.
Yeah, did we explain how you actually get a corner? So basically,
yes. I believe
when you get,
if you wanted to just touch
when
upon
you
it,
get, when it hits a foot, when it hits a foot of the, like any of the opposite, so in this case it hit someone on North Reading's foot, and that's a nice goal. Does that count? I'm not sure.
Yep.
That's a shot.
Looks like there's some talking between the refs, and we're getting a boo from our student section over here. I'm sure they're not really too happy, but
yeah, that's not a.
So it's gonna be
that was not counted. That's a nice save by Allie, bringing it up. Nice stop by Paige. Pressure. Okay, green ball. You can just see our defense preparing. You can tell they're ready.
Yeah. The way
that's a nice. Yeah, that was really nice.
Yeah, the way I believe that.
And I believe that's going to be out on green.
Yeah.
The way Natalie was kind of shuffling back at an
Yeah,
angle,
she's always ready. She's always ready. And Devin's at that angle, which is really helpful. Having see Maya's up a little further, so then Natalie is back and Devin's back even further than that. That's a nice pass up to. Okay. I think that might have been a stick obstruction.
That's going to be North Reading ball.
I'm not sure what that was.
Sometimes refs make calls that just don't quite make sense.
It's going to be a nice takeaway.
Sammy is moving fast.
Kelly running up the side. Not even the sideline, up midfield.
She can definitely move up the field really fast when she has the ball. That's a nice
pass to Allie.
Quick player like that, that's really something that you need. And when we say moving, she really was moving up.
Yeah.
Up there.
She moves pretty fast. you can hear there's a lot of communication going on the field.
Yeah, a lot
Green
of talking
ball.
between players, and that's what you need to do. You know, you need
With
to talk.
4 minutes and 30 seconds left in the last quarter. Green ball.
Now, how important is communication, really?
Very
in this
important.
game?
Oh, that's a
Very
stick hook.
important.
That was a stick hook.
Now, I know as a goalie, sometimes you're not as kind of involved with the
she's
field
hustling.
players
She's
as
hustling.
other field
She's
players
hustling.
are, but
Sorry.
when you are kind of able to talk to your players, whether they're
Oh no,
back, what are you-
goalies! I
what are you
think
saying?
I
Goalies
communicate.
are a
I
lot.
communicate. I think the most
Really?
by accident because it's hard. I don't get to be up there and actually help, and I'm used to doing that. That's a nice. That's
Right.
a Maddie bringing it up, but I'm used to being up and actually playing, so I think it's frustrating not being able to up there and help. So,
Yeah.
especially with JV, I think communication is very important.
Yeah.
Calling for the ball, they're not as experienced with that. A lot of the girls just picked up the sport a year ago, maybe just this year. So communication is really important. So I try to help with that as well.
And Julia, would you say it's the same for you when you were playing goalie? Were you kind of talking to your team really as much as you could?
Because down at net, I see everything,
Yeah.
everything on the field. So I like to put my input on a lot of the plays and what everyone's doing, just from like observation, watching the game.
Definitely. It's hard not being able to help at all.
Yeah.
Until it comes to you, and then
Yeah, I'm sure.
that looks like.
Looks like it's going to be North Reading's ball.
On the 25, coming in. That's a nice pressure by Amelia and Riley.
Yeah, you saw a little double up there as they were able to kind of
Yeah.
really.
Sammy bringing it up once again.
Going to be a North Reading player tripped up. Looks like it was clean though. Sammy's
Still
gonna
blue
take
ball.
The ball.
That's a nice
Pass
pass.
it up to Maddie Hillick.
That's
Gonna be
also a
passed
nice pass.
even
Amelia, get there, get
further
there, get
up
there.
to
Save it.
number
You got it, you got it.
4, Amelia
Nice.
Height,
Nice
one of our
hustle.
seniors.
Nice pass
nice-
back.
And we have some very, very
have
ecstatic
some
fans and
very
parents
enthusiastic.
in the stadium. And as a player, do you kind of hear the fans cheering you on, or is it kind of
I know.
drowned
I'm gonna be
out?
completely honest. I kind of black out most games. So I'm really nervous.
I
Yeah.
tune out a lot of
Try
the
to tune it out,
fans.
but once in a while I'll hear someone's dad.
Yeah.
Someone's dad screaming at the top of their lungs.
Kind of like the white noise of the parents cheering in the background is up.
You can
the
tell.
louder it is, the
Yeah.
more fans you have kind of cheering you on.
You can tell a lot of the girls are getting tired.
Yeah.
I mean, we're under 2 minutes left. We have quite literally 1 minute 30
Yeah.
seconds remaining in the fourth, and
They're
it's
just
still
at this
2-0.
point they're just trying to keep it above.
Triton's trying to keep ahead. North Reading's getting
Interesting tactic
frustrated.
from their goalie,
Yeah.
shuffling to follow it out. I usually just let it out.
Yeah.
I mean, better to be safe than sorry, Yeah, definitely a lot of communication.
Yeah, and going into the final minute of this game, I'm sure Triton's really just focused on staying together and
They're just trying to
Not
keep it out of
kinda-
out of their circle as much as possible.
yeah.
That's a nice
Nice stop
stop.
by Maya, taking it up by Sammy.
Sammy Kelly taking it up
Sammy
kinda
Kelly.
towards the sideline. Tons of space.
That's a nice
Gonna be
pass.
a nice pass. Looked like it was kind of
Fortunately,
towards
no one
11.
got there.
Channing, but
35 seconds left in the game, and it looks like it's green ball coming out of the circle.
and we have some fans
We have
already
some
celebrating
fans
kind of a bit early. I'm
singing.
sure they're very happy to see their friends get this win, and I'm sure the parents and the Miss A definitely is too, especially on senior night. This has to be a good feeling, especially for the seniors.
It looks like and even now you can tell that Triton's not giving up. They're still hustling. They have 8 seconds left, and they're going to try to get that goal as much as they can. They're not giving up anytime soon. That was a really
That
good
is
game.
the end of the Triton Vikings versus North
And that
Reading
is
Hornets
Sophie.
field hockey game.
Sophie Chapman just got another shutout, may I add. As a freshman on the senior
killing
night,
it.
she must be so excited right now. I have to
I
go
can't wait to see her
She's
senior
gonna
year.
be, she is going to be definitely very useful.
All right, well, thank you guys so much for doing this. It was a great win, 2-0 Vikings on their senior night, and hopefully we'll see some more great games this season.
Can't wait.
Yeah, definitely.